Good evening, ASM. 1, 2, 1, 2. Yes, good evening. You ready for ninjas? You ready for warriors? You ready once again? Too bad. It's the power release. It's got the wrong title. All right, the Ninja Warriors once again. We're playing normal difficulty. We're going to be playing the Ninja Warriors as none other than Ninja. Start the time, start the time, start the time.
Ninja. Fortunately, we do not have a fun character warrior to go with them.
Yeah, there's no warrior, there's just Ninja.
How are we going? Oh, it looks gross over there. Okay.
Oh, I need to crank that. I need to crank that game audio way up.
Yep. That is quiet. Oh.
All right, so you're probably wondering, what on earth is the Ninja Warriors and why are they once again? We'll tell you in level 2. This game is a single screen beat 'em up. A single plane beat 'em up. So there's no Z-axis to very narrowly whiff everything like you normally expect in something like Final Fight. There is just left, right, and down. There's jumping, but Ninja's jump is terrible. Instead, he has this rocket dash, which we're using to move very quickly. There are other characters who have speedy movement tech, but Ninja's is far less effort. Tap here. Throw. Ninja has 3 of the most useful throws in the game. His up throw is extremely good for crowd control. His forward throw has more iframes than you usually get. And his down throw is the most damaging in the game, which is useful. This game has a special gauge, which is filling up at the bottom. Oh my goodness me.
One knockdown.
Yeah, get back in that corner. That is the game auto-correcting with a somersault there. So this game has an automatically filling up special move gauge. You can spend roughly a third of it on doing an EX move. Some of these are useful for many reasons. If the gauge is completely full, you can instead do a bomb like you're playing a scrolling shooter, which will allow you to avoid things. This section has completely RNG mortars. One of the downsides to playing Ninja is his boost dash, while very fast, is highly committal, which means there is a good chance that things could go badly. Case in point, that somehow did not hit me. That one did, though.
That one did.
All right, just one more backbreaker. How many backbreakers are we at, babe?
I lost count.
All right, that guy's dead. Audio cues are very important in this game because that is how you know when someone is actually dead. Which is going to be particularly important because a lot of times the ideal form of crowd control is to push things off screen, then mash crouch jab in the corner, as that will prevent them from actually attacking things. We'll talk about music in a bit. We have 3 nunchucks to use here as we go to the first boss.
Yes, first boss.
Put your audio up in my microphone, babe. In
your microphone, yep.
Are we close enough to avoid guarding? No. First boss should be close to dead. We are just outside the range. There we go. First boss.
First juggernaut of many.
So yes, while I do tend to run games which have very funny, very ridiculous skips, there is the other type of games I like to run, which is the, hey, you should play this video game because it's cool type. So the history of what are the Ninja Warriors? Why are they not just again, but once again? The Ninja Warriors is a 1986 arcade game developed by Taito, released on the Darius 2 arcade hardware. Babe, can you pull out a reading of the technical specs of the Darius 2 arcade hardware?
Yes, main processor, there's two of them, very simple audio chips. Video resolution is about 864 by 224. That's 3 screens of about 288.
Yeah, so Taito had this period where they were really big on trying to make cabinets built purely around spectacle. And Darius and Darius 2 are the signatures of that. So the Darius 2 cabinet, look at those iframes, baby. The Darius 2 cabinet has 3 monitors synced up next to each other for an extra wide experience, but the cabinet doesn't just display the monitors, they are embedded into the base of the cab. And what you actually look at is a mirror reflection of the cabinets to give you a seamless view of all 3 screens at once. There's also a subwoofer in the seat, as well as a completely enclosed casing around the screen. and this results in some of the widest video games ever made. So the Ninja Warriors 1 runs on the same hardware as Darius 2, and they were just trying to find more ways to... I'm just going to bomb these guys.
3 screens.
Yeah, 3 screens, so that's why it doesn't have a Z-axis like Final Fight, because you've got a lot of width to be playing around with. That game has fairly limited mechanics. Both Kunoichi and Ninja are both just red. They're just player 1 and P2. These robots require 3 backbreakers, but you have to wait a bit for the third one, because you have to wait for their head exploding animation first. That's a good clear of that room. So, it's the Ninja Warriors 1. It's a cool game. It is well worth checking out. You can get the Arcade Archives release on PS4, PS5, and Switch. Ported by Hamster, much like... Well, not quite. I think M2 did the Darius 2 port. These guys take 2 backbreakers, so we're just gonna backbreak again. We're gonna bomb this guy, because it's available. We need to get to the other end of the screen quickly. Knife guys take only 1 hit, but they are mostly there to be a weird spoiler. I did not boost out of there in time, so that second hit caught me. Crowd control. This is a game about crowd control, and to be fair, most beat-em-ups are. But this game in particular, what you really want to do is get things off-screen in the corner like this, and mash the hell out of jab. And that's why audio cues are important, because it means you know if you've actually killed anybody. This is a fun section, because you got these spinning fans which will kill things.
You've got many spinning fans there.
No, any fans in the room want to start spinning for me?
I see at least 2.
Did I do that correctly? Good. If you're not careful with how you position yourself when bombing there, you can fall into the fan. Yeah, so the arcade game was by Taito. As the 90s rolled around, Taito realized that they did not know what to do about consoles. So they could try doing ports for games, but quite a lot of the time, the ports just weren't quite up to the hardware specs, even so, of some of their most famous works. Or just had screen limitations, you know. Mega Drive Darius 1 or Game Boy Darius 1 definitely do not have 3 screens worth of space. Alright, this boss is fun, because what we're going to do is we're going to break his back. Then we're going to break his back. We're going to have a walk behind him.
Yeah, these grab windows are
and we're going to break his back. And then for a bit of variety, we're going to bomb. So, Taito not knowing quite what to do about their arcade lineage with consoles by the 90s.
Round 2?
They started putting out... Round 2 what?
Ah, the get-up animation. Always fun.
Yeah, all the human bosses. Every major enemy does a very protracted death animation that the game pauses the action to make you watch. And for the humans, it's just that they get up, you think that there's going to be a spray of blood or something, but nah, they just fall over. We're using the option to play with the arcade soundtrack because it's better than the console games. Soundtrack by Hisayoshi Ogura, better known as OGR. Legendary composer at Taito. Taito has a fun storied history to its music team because they unionized extremely quickly into the company's life. So even though Taito got bought out by Square in the early noughts, the composers actually still own the rights to all their games' music. So Square is to keep giving them individual credits every time they put out a new release or use their music in any sort of nostalgia project. Oh wow, did I miss it? Both drones?
Both.
Yeah, these drones are a pain to hit with Ninja because you need to spend resources to do the upwards nunchuck. And there's another one of these. These guys are going to throw some kunai. And it's going to be a pain because it's going to interrupt things. So we've got a neutral jump to avoid that. You know, we're playing some Street Fighter. There's a lot, even for a beat 'em up, there's a lot of Street Fighter in this game's DNA. So by the 90s, Taito did not know what to do with consoles, so they developed a partnership with a company called Natsume, who had quite a reputation for making good-looking games on the Super Nintendo that also ran at a good frame rate. Which is impressive because if you know anything about the Super Nintendo's processors, they can't do multiplication. They hate doing math. But nevertheless, Natsume made some good games on their own, some wrestling games and some pretty cool fighting games like Gundam Wing Endless Duel, the game where, you know, like Death Scythe and Heavy Arms have jumping attacks which had to be blocked low. Okay, get back and... Whoops. It's
lost all your
unfortunate.
bar, dear.
It's fine, it's fine, it's fine, it's fine at this point. And so they contracted Natsume to re-envision a bunch of their arcade games for the console. So, thus having made a pseudo-remake to the Ninja Warriors, they didn't just call it the Ninja Warriors for Super Nintendo, they released the game as the Ninja Warriors. Again, that game introduced distinct characters. It obviously is built around having just a single screen, not 3 screens. It introduces the meter mechanics that we're used to seeing in this game. And is pretty cool. It has different level design to this game, and is well worth playing in its own right. You can also listen to the SNES soundtrack if you unlock it in this game. Natsume then did several other Taito releases in that period. The most famous of those would be their re-envisioning of Kiki Kai Kai, a top-down run-and-gun, which you probably know better by its American title of Porky and Rocky. This guy's gonna hit me. Yep. Thanks. Get down there. And yeah, Natsume, they made some good video games. So then in 2016, the core staff who worked for Natsume in the era went out drinking one Friday night just to have a catch up with their old workmates. They talked about the good old days. They talked about all the things that they wished they'd done in the SNES era. The stuff that they had to can due to time constraints or creative limitations and so on. And realized that they all weren't attached to any major projects at the time. So they said, wouldn't it be funny if we just kind of brought the band back together and fiddled around again? So they first released Wild Guns Reloaded, a redo of Wild Guns, their SNES fixed screen shooter. And they had a great time, so they decided to start redoing their other ones. Oh my goodness me, you jumped one too early. That's unfortunate. Stand there. Stand there. Hey, give me a hug. Thank you.
He's so helpful, dashing into you
Oh,
forever.
what are you doing running away, mate? Don't be shy. Come back here. Now he's invisible. That can't be good. I'm just gonna bomb him. Alright, it's gonna be a 3 cycle, unfortunate. He has not been cooperative. Yeah, this guy has... It works like Claw in Street Fighter 2, where if he decides to wall climb, he's completely invulnerable. Normally you can just pick him up and grab him and you just get a 2-cycle fight, so a bit unfortunate the RNG there, but hey. Now, if you're seeing a bit of a pattern to these bosses, don't worry, it is going to break soon, and I'm going to be miserable when it does. Whoever decided to put me in the no swears block, good job, because this is the one game that makes me swear a lot. As we'll be seeing when we get to stage 5.
Is this a good opportunity to get in a couple of donations?
This is a good opportunity. Put my host audio mic up, thanks, babe.
Awesome. So we do have a $5 donation from Kasenchu. Says, cheers from Brazil. Thank you so much. And also another donation, which is a message towards one of the later runs in the event. It's a $5 from Messi is better than Ronaldo. And then with the message, put this towards Argentina in World Cup 2014 run. So thank you very much for those donations. And also, I do want to quickly mention that we do have some donation incentives. Probably seeing them along the bottom of the screen for a lot of the different Chrono Cross names. And there's, for the name of Glenn, we have a lot of stand of various forms and various lengths. If you would like to upset the balance, that is an option for you. We also have the naming of Sarge, we have the naming of Fargo, and also for a run a little bit later, choosing the character to be used for Snowboard Kids. So if you would like some of your donations to go towards those, feel free to leave a message along with your donation.
Okay, how many backbreakers am I at, babe?
Probably double digits, at least at this point.
Look at these iframes. Look at the stuff you can slip through with this thing. Now, there's going to be a tank here. We do not actually get to fight the tank. We just have to defeat the mobs. The important thing about this section is we need to wait for that robot to make its way closer to the middle of the screen. Otherwise, it's going to get knocked away like that. We won't be able to grab it. The thing with robots is they're the only enemy you can't just crouch mash crouch jab in the corner against. because they always guard their front. You have to grab them or hit them from behind. It's generally faster to just grab them with Ninja because you can do 3 backbreakers.
Mm-hmm.
And we're approaching the helicopter room. And the helicopter room is sort of an auto-scroller. There is a set amount of passes that the gunship has to take before you're allowed to leave, but you also have to kill everyone who's in there. So yeah, when enemies are off the screen, they behave in a consistent way. Which means that it's a lot easier to just loop a bunch of jab strings against them. Oh, you fell the wrong way, mate. You also want to spend as much time as possible getting all enemies on the same side of you as possible, because then it is more worthwhile to actually push your attack button rather than just doing throws. That should be enough to get the gunship to spawn.
Yep.
So the gunship's a fun section because what the idea is, you'll see from these gunshots, you're meant to just jump over the machine gun fire. Unfortunately, Ninja is too heavy. He weighs 700 kilograms and he cannot actually jump over it. So what you need to be doing is up throws whenever it does a pass, because that is something which has enough iframes to get through like that. Otherwise you're just taking hits. And you'll see here, if I try to jump over it, nope. One more gun pass should be enough. That's acceptable losses. There's no more health pickups in this stage, but stage 4 boss is a bit of a pushover.
I am enjoying these Japanese salarymen after their day of work, going to do a bit of Street Fighter.
Yeah, these guys are definitely Street Fighter 2 players.
Yep.
They clock in their hours, they do their business, they match that low sweep and wonder why they can't cancel into Fireball. It's like, mate, you're the one picking Zangief. Actually, the sweeps were like Yuns in Street Fighter 3 again.
Yes.
Alright, here we go. It's our good friend Saddam Hussein. He's walked off the screen, which means he's going to walk up the front. He's going to walk up the roof any moment now. There we are. Hey there, buddy.
Hey.
Want to say hi?
Such a helpful boss.
And we once again be scooping him. If we do this right, he won't get back up to the roof. Yeah, we're good. If he gets back up to the roof, you'll start calling a laser when he's past half health. That's it for the easy bosses, don't worry. We're going to have some real fights coming up, because it's stage 5. Oh, it's stage 5 next.
Stage 5, you can do it.
The stage is fine. It's just where the health pickups are placed in relation to the boss fight.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, the boss fight is brutal. You make one mistake, you lose a third of your life instantly.
I'd still say.
One more grab. This is a good time for donations. We're just playing some conventional gameplay here.
Also, we don't have any additional donations just yet, but I do want to mention that for ASM 2025, we are raising money for Game on Cancer, a charity which funds early career cancer researchers who are working across all areas of cancer research to make sure that this is the last generation to die from cancer. And if you would like to donate, you can go to donate.ausspeedruns.com.
Oh my goodness me. Okay, good. No sweeps. We don't want sweeps and we don't want shin kicks from these guys. We're going to have to take a step back to let this guy approach before we get our next 2 backbreakers in. And we want to hope that it doesn't decide to grab us on its own. Alright, that's fine. Now we'll just grab it from behind this time. Done. Coming up next will be a familiar face. Why, it's the stage 1 boss! Once again, we cannot grab him, so we have to make use of nunchucks. And be careful not to... Have to make sure that we are guarding when it wakes up from a knockdown, because it will match DP. Once again, this is a fighting game. Use your fighting game fundamentals, you bait people's DP on wake up, and you'll be fine. That's the grab. That's a chunk of life I didn't want to lose, but there's a lot of life pickups in the next section. Okay. Boss is dead. this next section is fairly easy. It's pretty much just make sure you don't make any mistakes, don't fall for one of these jerks. Mashing that sweep again. So what's your favorite type of ninja? Are you like a what has the cool flowing red scarf and does fire magic type? The type that does the spinning pile drivers, the ears in a drop? The type that just hangs out with birds all the time? More of a frog ninja type guy?
I'd probably say Mexican variant, the burrito.
Old Buck Banderas from KOF 14. That's a Mexican ninja. Is that all of them? Yes, we don't need to be on the other side of the screen to quickly move through that one. Because they could not... Like, I mean... I really can't stress enough just how gorgeous all the sprite work in these re-releases by Natsume are, because it's the same people who drew the SNES art, but they are 20 years on and have significantly better skills. And they pretty much use the same dev tools they were using at the time. They just have so much more awareness of what to do to make a good-looking video game. Let's bomb these guys. Okay, that's all then taken care of. Coming up next is the most finicky part of this next coming section is there's going to be another health drop, and I want to see if I can carry it to the end of the stage if possible. Yeah, this one. I don't want to be throwing enemies into that cage, that box too soon, because that will unlock it sooner than I want. Never mind, I'm an idiot. I bombed out of habit. We're going to be very low on health resources, most likely, going into the boss fight, which is going to be scary. I'm using those nunchucks more for space control than for damage, because I don't want these guys to be sneaking in extra hits. This final section of the stage is a pain. Oh my goodness me. What are you doing there, mate? Okay. That's unfortunate. Okay, we've got them all on the same side. Alright, now we're at the final section of this stage, which is 4 of the kunai guys. Kunai guys are very annoying for Ninja to deal with because they do that, and you've got a neutral jump at a very specific timing. Other characters can move around much more freely. But if you want to beat these with Ninja, you've got to be way more careful. Unlike the other types of gunmen, these guys cannot be dashed under, and they'll start doing stuff like that as well. You want to be losing as little health as possible going into this final screen. Now it's going to spawn, yeah, a bunch of these enemies. And the yellow version of the female ninjas have much more health than the others. All right. We should be good now for the screen. Unfortunately, we don't get to carry over this bomb charge into the boss fight. This boss is also resistant to the bomb damage. Most bosses take like almost a third of their life from a bomb blast. This guy doesn't. This guy is too cool. He's been in the gym too much. He's been working out too hard.
To move on, you must beat Shenlong.
Okay, so obviously what you want to do is loop the throws once again, but as you can see, there are 2 large men around him. Sometimes you just need 2 guys, right? And these guys will interfere with your plans. Oh my goodness me, that was lucky. And if you kill both of them, then much more annoying spawns appear. Okay, okay. Have we got this? One more hit. One more hit. Enough iframes off that? That's basically a perfect fight. If you make a mistake there, you're not getting back in and you're losing the rest of your life. Continuing isn't too much of a penalty as far as a marathon goes. It's just we get a checkpoint right before the boss.
I mean, you lose your timer.
And yeah, we do also lose the timer, so we can't record it in-game. And also we have the shame and humiliation of having died. That's not what Ninja Warriors are meant to do. Stage 6, this is based on the arcade version final stage, which getting a 1 coin clear of arcade the Ninja Warriors is an interesting experience in that you effectively have to speedrun the entire game. The in-game timer is so ridiculously limited that if you aren't playing optimal speed routes, you will not win the game. I'm doing iframe abuse here with backbreakers, so that hopefully doesn't happen. Oh well, we've got a health pickup coming. I think there's 1 health pickup in stage 6. This is the shortest stage in the game. I think it might even be shorter than stage 1. Don't want that guy snipping in a laser last second. Yeah, there's 1 health pickup. And once again, there's a robot, so we need to make sure that it moves towards the center of the screen and doesn't accidentally grab me. Come over here, mate. Come over here. Come over here. Give me a hug. No. You can give me a hug. Thank you. Red ones are effectively the same as the yellow ones. There's a slightly orangey one as well, also just the same enemy. One more. Done. And now we get to what would be the final screen of the arcade game, where you would simply chase down the evil dictator Bangla to the corner of this room. But this is a fancy remake of a remake, and so we instead have 2 stage 1 bosses at the same time. Sometimes all you need is 2 guys.
2 large men.
2 large men, yes please. So these guys, they work exactly the same, except if you're at a distance, they'll do that. You just gotta block that low and you'll be fine. Oh, I'm too close, that guy's gonna wake up kick. Case in point. Ideally, you get these guys getting hit by everything at the same time and they incur double the damage. He's gonna mash wake up. No, it was a bit too far away. There you go, double damage. And now we get to enjoy the same animation twice. This is a good time for donations. We just got another mortar screen coming up.
All good. We do not have any additional messages or donations, but again, I do want to mention that not only can you put your donations towards some of the many incentives that we do have up and available, but by just donating at least $20, you will automatically go into the running to win one of our Steam game bundles, and also, if you donate up to $50, you'll go into the running to win a Nintendo Switch 2, our big major prize for this event.
This is one of my favorite bits of level design in the game. We have this foreground object here obstructing the fact that there is a bunch of mortar coming down. Normally you can only tell where the mortar's going ahead of time by
the shadow.
By the shadow, and you cannot see the shadow. And so you just gotta make sure that you are in a reactable spot every time. Also, there's friendly fire on it, and there's also 2 health blocks immediately underneath the foreground object, so you can't quite tell where the dang health has gone if you've accidentally exploded the crates too soon. Didn't get to switch sides in time. That's okay. Alright, everybody's in the corner. I haven't talked about the plot of this game, have I?
You have not talked about Daddy Mulk at all.
Yeah. We haven't learned the lore about Daddy Mulk. The plot of the Ninja Warriors is that some sort of country possibly a South American one, possibly, I don't know, Japan. Like, you know what? There's cool Japan stuff, but also it's got a lot of South American aesthetics. It's Brazil.
It's Brazil, right?
It's Brazil or it's Chile, right? You know, like, there's certainly some Imperial Japanese escapees over in that part of the world. So, you know, like, you know what? Dictator Bangla is probably a Fujimori. Anyway, so there's a probably South American country which had big advances in technology and prosperity, and then an evil dictator has taken it over. He's made an army of cyborgs and androids with which he wants to take over the world, and he's also apparently brainwashed the population. So fortunately, there is a team, there has been a resistance, headed by a man simply known as Daddy Mulk, M-U-L-K. And you know this because the Stage 1 theme of the Ninja Warriors is called Daddy Mulk, and it has a computerized voice say Daddy Mulk several times.
It also gives you instructions to cheer.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you do need to cheer when the game tells you to cheer. Backbreaker. Get those in the corner. This guy is not dead. He will be now. Yeah. Coming up next. Okay, these are the last of the new enemies we'll be seeing.
Mm-hmm.
These effectively, they work kind of like the other female ninjas, except that when they are gay, they cannot be grabbed. Anytime you see that rainbow effect, throws will not work on them. This is an important thing to learn for later in the run.
Mm-hmm.
Later in this stage, no less. Sometimes you need four guys, not just 2 guys. Bombs do good damage against these, thankfully, so we just reduce the amount of grabbing I need to do. Excellent. Minimal losses in that room is always handy. That's what I say now. We've got an auto-scroller now, so now's a good time for donations.
Sounds good. Also, just quickly, I've been seeing this donkey kick you've been doing, and I've been, for some reason, getting quite upset. But I do also want to mention that in addition to donating, the Twitch revenue we receive throughout this event will also be given to Game on Cancer, which includes bits and subscriptions to the AusSpeedruns channel as another way to help us support Game on Cancer. Also would like to thank Urban Climb as one of our sponsors for this event, ASM 2025. They have generously contributed 7 prize vouchers for entry into any urban climb across Australia, as well as the included gear hire. If you would like more information, it can be found at prizes.ausspeedruns.com.
Wasn't that a great auto-scroller, everybody? You know, like, the like, one enemy spawn that appears in it.
We love auto-scrollers in our games.
That's how you know it's a good game. And fake gives you the fake out.
All the good speedruns have an auto-scroller.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Here we have another lift. Anytime that you knock down one of the evil Ronald McDonald's here, they will switch to game mode. Is that enough? Oh, yes, that is. Yep. All right, elevator time.
Our favorite elevator.
The interesting thing about this screen is there's no off-screen corner, so you get slightly different enemy behavior. But, you know, if you sync them all up like this, it's usually going to work out in your favor. Main thing is getting kunai guys all together at the same time. Is this the last enemy spawn? I think it is. Because I said this was a Taito game and a Natsume game, but in fact, for a brief moment, it is a Sega game. There he is. The Ooze 1995 has appeared.
He is seeking his own level.
He is seeking his own level, and he's taking us down to it right now. The Ooze works the same as the Ronald McDonald's. So he'll turn gay. Dr. Kane from the Ooze will turn gay, and then he cannot be grabbed. We're gonna throw some petrol tanks at him to hopefully tack on some extra damage here. I kind of want these initial spawns to go away because robots will spawn. and they are much more useful. This guy has a bunch of real Dalsim moveset. He's got this long sweep that's really annoying to deal with. He's Street Fighter EX2 Dalsim specifically. He has a range grab. He does mash guard sometimes though. Yes, the rainbow mechanic is effectively there to safeguard against the throw loops we were doing earlier in the game. Oh my goodness me, what a time to get knocked down. If you get knocked down, you lose all your bomb gauge charge, which is a pain. Hello? Can I please pick up this petrol bar? Thank you. We'll take a free backbreaker when we get one though. One more hit will do this. I'm gonna do it this way. Bingo. Farewell to the ooze, 1995. And we'll see here that he has not found all of the 50 DNA samples because he is going to tragically explode. Blech. So we get to the final stage, and I would say it's serious time, but that's just a way to trick you into listening to the replay of the stage 1 theme, Daddy Milk. There's not much to talk about mechanically until the final boss fight, and oh boy, that final boss fight is a game design decision. So now there's a good time for donations, otherwise you can tell us about City Climb or our friends at Worlds Beyond Tattoos. Is that what they're called? Worlds Divided?
Infinite Worlds.
Infinite Worlds Tattoo.
Yeah, they have been wonderful all week long so far here on site, giving quite a few people some tattoos throughout the week of a whole bunch of different designs, and everyone has been really, really loving them all throughout the week so far, and they'll be still showing up throughout the rest of the week as well. And also, we would also like to thank Gigabyte as our major sponsor for ASM 2025. For those in Australia who donate at least $50, you'll go into the running for one of two 32-inch Gigabyte MO3 32U monitors. These are two of our grand prizes that you can win during the event. And again, for more details about our prizes, you can go over to prizes.ausspeedruns.com.
Now, I asked Haley earlier, what's your favorite type of ninja host?
My favorite type of ninja.
Yeah.
Probably the one that can become old and young again. I'm just going with Zeku from Street Fighter V.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, sure. That's very much... Yeah. The ninja that makes you old. That's
yes, the ninja that goes old and then eventually young. Whenever at the.
Mm-hmm. That's ninja magic, baby. Look, as long as I don't have to deal with the ninja who's a bit over a reformed drug addict again, because Chip Zanoff in modern Guilty Gear games, not a fan.
Oh,
that guy has way too strong a toolkit. He doesn't fear death enough in the way that he's supposed to. Bring back Accent Core Chip. That's the right balance. Bring back Slash Chip where he dies in like 3 hits.
The tightrope is very silly.
Nice grenade. That's okay. We got a health pick up there. Excuse me. Thank you.
Also, Pitchy, you mentioned this game is on a bunch of different consoles. Is there any difference in the versions, or is it just personal preference?
Sorry, what was that?
You mentioned that this game is also on other consoles. Mm-hmm. Is there any difference in the versions, or is it just a personal preference that you have it on, that you're running it on the Switch?
So I use the Switch because it's easy to just bring to the event.
That's totally fair.
It's physically small. It's easy to capture with HDMI input. This is released on PC, PlayStation, probably Xbox as well. Pretty much all major platforms.
That makes sense.
Excuse me, that was a very rude grab. Oh yeah, check out this Shamisen solo, everybody. Yeah. Listen carefully. And you can hear the crowd applaud. They love it. Yeah, if you have, I strongly recommend go on YouTube, look up live performances of Daddy Mulk by the composer on keyboard with various other members of Zuntata as a band. I cannot stress enough that looking up a live performance of Daddy Mulk will probably change your life. Zuntata had some absolutely incredible live shows over the years. The G Darius performances are obviously the funniest ones because it's just, hey, look, you're watching a full band here to just see Yoshiogra just like bang some pipes and call it music. Unfortunately, all my favorite real weird Taito music games aren't speed games because they're all fixed screen scrolling shooters and so on.
This is
Okay.
Juggernaut 4? 5? Where are we up to?
I think this is the 5th one, yeah. Wait. Thank you. This is acceptable losses. Because the final screen in the lead up to the boss is really just do you understand to push everyone into one corner? Here, they're all lined up. Here he is again, the evil Bangla. We're here to work for Daddy Mulk. When we hit time, I'm going to play the arcade audio for the ending text, just because I like the arcade audio text. The poor translation of the written text in the arcade version is also worth looking up. Alright, final boss time. Do you like game design, everybody? Well, sorry, it's this boss. Okay, so Bangla is hiding behind a large contraption here. What you have to do is throw enemies into the glass. The big problem is he has a big bunch of lasers and gadgets and things, and all of those are designed to kill his own men, so you cannot throw them into the glass. Meaning this boss fight is an absolute pain. See, look at this guy on the left. He's going to walk back and forwards, and then he's going to walk into a laser beam, most likely. Thankfully, he didn't that time.
This final boss fight is not OSHA compliant.
Yeah, like the reason we need to take down Bangla is this guy is violating so many WHS practices. And yeah, Daddy Mulk, he just works for the government. He's just trying to keep things safe. Bangla's a bit of a union buster. So you just need to keep on throwing them. As the fight rolls on, he will start switching up where the lasers spawn, often putting them in the spot you need to be in order to actually throw him. Or throwing off more like that. I cannot believe that I actually survived that one.
Center one, dear.
Yeah, there we are. Case in point. Whoops, I just killed all the guys who you need to be throwing at me. Thanks, guy. This is going pretty well, though, so far.
Yep.
Get out in time. Thank you. Oh, please don't throw a kunai, mate. You can go into the glass. The SNES version of this fight is, I think, much more enjoyable because rather than being in the center like this, he's only on one side. And so you have... It's much more like, can you walk up there safely sort of fight, and I think it works better. But, you know, this one is more visually spectacular, I suppose. The two-player mode of this game is interesting. All the Natsume releases have been experimenting in two-player modes which are built around saying, screw you, get good. Because, you know, a lot of the times when you're doing an arcade two-player mode, it's like, yeah, you're just going to credit feed with your friend and not really learn the game. Whereas all these Natsume releases, they're like, no, you have to learn the game. We are going to do things like, in this case, you share the... Oh, yes, perfect. That's time. So I guess I'll just quickly play the closing audio. Let's get this up to the microphone. Excuse me. Oh, there we are. Oh. Oh, wonderful. We cannot connect to the network.
A revolution broke out, and
Is this picking up?
everything came to an end. The troubled country seemed to be finished by the death of the wicked machines. But peace did not come. Because the ninja warriors are the immortal murder machine.
That's right. Ninja Warriors, they are the immortal murder machines. All right, we can watch the final closing cutscene. So what happens is you've successfully defeated Bangla. Daddy Mulks detonates your own corpse and then installs himself as a new military dictator. It's a tighter game. You're not getting a happy ending.
Oh, we got Daddy Mog twice.
We did get to hear the best song twice, it's true. And yeah, that's the Ninja Warriors once again. Check it out. It's a great game. Play it with your friend. Get mad at your friend for using the bomb when you needed it. And have a good time.
Thank you so much, Pitchy, for that wonderful run. It was definitely a wonderful, wonderful time. And I hope you're all having a great time watching these runs with us as we get into our evening block here at ASM 2025. Alright, while we are getting our next run set up, I do want to give a quick mention to some of the donation incentives that we have coming up over the next several runs. Most notably, a lot of the character name bid wars that we have for Chrono Cross. That is going to be on later this evening, and we'll be taking us through a lot of the Graveyard Shift. For instance, we have the name Surge. In bid war, currently in the lead is Vegemite with $115 with Bad Gym Puzzle, trailing behind at 5. Currently for name of Fargo, we have Flavio out in front there with $45, and the one that I think everyone has been putting a lot of effort into is the naming of Glenn with Sten with way too many ends, so much that it looks like a barcode on the screen, out in the lead with $80, with just regular Sten trailing behind at $55. So if you would like to make a bid towards some of those incentives, you just put the money towards them by mentioning it in the comments section on Tiltify when making your donation. All right, everyone, welcome back to ASM 2025. And we are getting ready for our next run as we are just getting our last minute checks all ready. It looks like we are ready to go. So to continue our Keep It Classy block here on this fine evening, we have the 8-Bit Beast doing their run